There are so many people out there who appear to be a success story on the outside, but are on the verge of collapsing from the inside. Their marriages are failing. Their children don't talk to them. They have terrible health. They don't have any deep, intimate friendships, and their lives are falling apart. These problems are deep and painful. To change such situations, we have to improve ourselves and our perceptions. The way we see the problem is the problem. In this video, we'll take a look at Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a book that's been sold 15 million copies. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People will bring you back to yourself. It will remind you that you are in charge of your life. It will convince you that you and only you are responsible for your situation and choices. If I really want to improve my situation, I can work on the one thing over which I have control: myself. If you want to change, no matter what, it is crucial to start with yourself. You may want to change your health, then it's obvious to start with yourself because only you can change that. However, when you want to change your spouse or your kids or how your boss treats you, then it's still important to start with yourself. Habit number 1, be proactive. What happens to us doesn't matter. What matters is our response to it. In life, you can be one of two people. You can either be reactive or proactive. Now let's imagine someone says or does something that's offensive. How would you react? If you're a reactive person, you would feel angry, upset, and may use physical violence to solve the situation. Reactive people are driven by emotions. If you're proactive, you would stop and think about what's the best thing to do in order to deal with the situation. Be patient, speak to someone, confront the person in a peaceful manner. Proactive people are driven by values. Habit number 2, start with the end in mind. If your ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step you take gets you to the wrong place faster. Imagine you're going to a funeral of a loved one. Picture yourself driving there. You see the chapel, and you feel the sad atmosphere of the funeral. You walk inside the building, you notice the flowers, you see the faces of friends and family you pass along the way. As you walk down the front of the room and look inside the casket, you suddenly come face to face with yourself. This is your funeral. All these people have come to honor you, to express feelings of love and appreciation for your life. Now think deeply about what you'd want your friends, family, colleagues, and others to say about you and your life. What would you like to hear them saying about you? What character would you like them to have seen in you? What contributions and achievements would you want them to remember? What difference would you like to have made in their lives? The way we can start the whole process is to develop our own personal mission statement, our philosophy, our creed. Who do we want to be? What do we want to do? What do we want to accomplish? What are our contributions and achievements? What are our values and principles? Habit number 3, put first things first. Time management is life management. Put your life priorities first. Take a look at your daily life. What's keeping you busy? Are you constantly reacting and busy on overdue deadlines, random notifications and text messages, or being pulled aside by the situations of life? If so, you are spending too much time just reacting, doing what is urgent, and looking at life with a short-term focus. You're most likely stressed and burnt out. Instead of reacting to the impulse of the moment, we should act in accordance with our main goals. Stephen Covey splits the types of activities we can spend our time in into 4 quadrants. Quadrant number 1, important and urgent tasks. These are things like emergencies, pressing problems, and deadlines. Quadrant 2, important and non-urgent tasks. Things like relationship building, exercising, planning. Quadrant number 3, not important and urgent tasks. Some calls, emails, messages. Quadrant number 4, not important and not urgent. Things like social media, busy work, just wasting time. The highly effective person spends most of his time in quadrant 2 focusing on planning, building deep relationships, and focusing on improving themselves. Habit number 4. Think win-win. Win-win is not a technique, it's a total philosophy of human interaction. Let's imagine you and a friend are deciding on an important decision regarding a project where both of you have different ideas. How do you go about deciding what to do? Well, with any given situation, there are 4 possible outcomes. The first one is win-win. These are mutually beneficial and satisfying solutions where both people are happy. The second one is win-lose, where there is one winner and the other person is unhappy. The third one is lose-win, when you give in and sacrifice your happiness for someone else. Lose-lose, where both people lose and no one gets what they want. The most beneficial outcome is a win-win solution. This is where relationships are strengthened, deepened, and built on trust. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Let me listen to you first until I deeply and thoroughly understand your perspective. When I can explain your point of view as well as mine, then I can communicate mine to you. Take for example when you go to the doctor. You go see them. You tell them you're feeling some sort of pain in your stomach. So the doctor smiles and quickly prescribes something and says, "I hope you'll get better soon with this." You see, a doctor cannot heal with good intentions alone. To prescribe, they must diagnose, and to diagnose, they must first understand. And so the remedy for this is empathetic listening. The essence of empathetic listening is not that you agree with someone, it's that you fully, deeply understand that person, emotionally as well as intellectually. In order to understand another person, we need to listen empathetically, to listen with the intent to understand. Habit 6. Synergize. A team is stronger than an individual. The idea of synergizing is that the whole of a well-functioning team is greater than the mere sum of its part. An everyday example includes working in a team at work. Say a group of 5 people are given a task by their manager to finish writing a report each by the end of the day. If they all worked separately, they would each spend roughly around 7 hours to finish the report. But if they were to work in a team, they could each specialize in one section of the report and finish it in half the time. The key to an effective group synergy is to really value the differences among us by thinking win-win and listening empathetically. Habit number 7. Sharpen the saw. Take care of your greatest asset, yourself. No habits in the world will take you far unless you preserve, take care, and keep improving yourself. Suppose you come across someone who's sawing down a tree. He looks exhausted and been working for hours. You tell him to take a break and sharpen the saw, which will make it work faster. But he tells you he doesn't have time to sharpen the saw because he's too busy sawing. Habit 7 is about taking the time to sharpen the saw. Covey recommends you focus on the 4 major dimensions of your life. The first one is physical, exercising, getting proper rest, eating healthy. The second one is the social and emotional, having meaningful human connections. The third one is mental, learning, visualizing, and acquiring new knowledge. And the last one is the spiritual, being involved in art, meditation, music, time in prayer. Sharpening your saw will help you become more effective in all areas of your life. You will grow as an individual, grow as a person, grow in character. You become a better person. You become closer to the best version of yourself. Start applying what you are learning. Remember, to learn and not to do is really not to learn. To know and not to do is really not to know. To achieve true effectiveness, you need to find the balance between producing and looking after yourself. You are your biggest asset. And that's where you have to start. Start with yourself. Change from the inside out. Start with yourself by being proactive, taking responsibility for your life. And as a proactive person, you begin with the end in mind. Know where you want to go. Know what you want to achieve. Know who you want to be. Now climb that ladder by putting first things first. Don't do what's urgent and easy. Do what truly matters. Do it even if you don't feel like it. As soon as you're dealing with others, Think win-win. Seek mutually beneficial relationships. You win, the other wins, both win. In these relationships, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Listen to other people and genuinely try to understand them. Listen empathetically and don't prepare your say. Just seek to truly understand the other person. And when you've mastered listening, you're ready to synergize. Stay open-minded and hear other people's opinion. Value the differences and gain a more objective view. Last but not least, sharpen the saw. Continuously improve yourself so you become the best ever possible version of yourself. Again, start with yourself. Start today by trying to be proactive, take initiative, and get started step by step.